Have you ever looked at someone performing a complex skill and thought, I could never do that? We've been conditioned to believe that mastery is a mountain, a grueling, years long climb that only the most dedicated can survive. But here's a secret the experts don't want you to know. There is a massive difference between being a world class professional and being functionally excellent. Most of the skills we admire are built on a foundation of just a few simple principles. If you can focus for 48 hours, you can bypass the beginner stage that takes most people months to crawl through. Today, we are breaking down 10 skills that society convinced you take years, but actually only take one weekend. 1. The high-low system, card counting. Hollywood has a lot to answer for when it comes to card counting. Movies like Rain Man or 21 portray it as this lightning-fast, autistic savant level of genius where numbers fly across the screen. In reality, it's basic first-grade addition and subtraction. The most common method is the high-low system. Here is the entire secret. Cards 2 through 6 are worth +1. Cards 7, 8, and 9 are worth 0. Tens, face cards, and aces are worth -1. As the dealer flips cards, you just keep a running tally in your head. If the count is high, let's say +15, it means the small cards have already been played and the deck is currently rich with big cards. That's good for you. You bet more. If the count is negative, you bet less. That's it. The real reason this feels like it takes years isn't the math, it's the acting. Casinos are private property. They can kick you out for any reason. If you sit there staring at the deck with sweat on your brow, you're gone. The weekend goal isn't just counting, it's learning how to count while ordering a drink, chatting with the dealer, and looking like a clueless tourist. Practice at your kitchen table until the math is subconscious. By Sunday, you'll have a 1% edge over the house. 2. Vocal percussion, basic beatboxing. Professional beatboxers can sound like a full dubstep concert, but every single one of them started with the same 3 silly sounds. Think of it as the boots and cats method. First, the kick drum. You just say the word boots, but you cut off the S and put all the pressure on the B. It's a literal puff of air from your lips. Next, the hi-hat. This is just a sharp tst sound, like a pressurized leak. Finally, the snare. You say kai while forcing air out the side of your mouth. If you spend your Saturday morning annoying your roommates by making these 3 sounds, by Saturday night, you'll be able to string them into a basic 4/4 rhythm. Your throat might feel like you've been swallowing sandpaper by Sunday, but you'll have the fundamental muscle memory. The pros take years to add the wow factor, but the ability to keep a beat only takes a few hours of practice. 3. The digital piano, touch typing. The average person spends hours every day typing, yet most still hunt and peck like a chicken looking for corn. We think learning to touch type is a long, painful journey, but it's more like ripping off a Band-Aid. To master this in a weekend, you have to commit to the 48-hour torture. You must delete your old way of typing, put a towel over your hands so you literally cannot see the keys. It will be painfully slow at first. It might take you 5 minutes to type a single email. Your brain will scream at you to just look down, just this once. Don't. Around the 6-hour mark, something magical happens. Neural pathways. Your brain stops thinking, where is the J? And your finger just moves there. By Sunday evening, you won't be a world record typist, but you will be a touch typist. You're trading one weekend of frustration for thousands of hours saved over the rest of your life. 4. Digital scissors, video editing. We see big YouTube stars with their fast cuts and flashy effects and think we need a film degree, but modern editing is just digital scissors. If you download a tool like DaVinci Resolve, which is free and Hollywood grade, you only need to learn 3 things: how to cut, removing the boring parts, how to move, arranging the good parts, and how to layer, adding music or text. 90% of the videos you watch only use these 3 skills. You can learn the interface in 4 hours on a Saturday morning. Spend the rest of the weekend editing a 1-minute clip of your dog or your last vacation. By Monday, you'll realize that production value is mostly just knowing where to trim the dead air. 5. Deception of the hand, basic sleight of hand. Magicians love to protect their secret club, but most coin magic relies on one move, the false transfer. You pretend to take a coin from your right hand with your left hand. In reality, you keep it in the right hand. The secret isn't in your fingers, it's in your eyes. People look where you look. If you look at your empty left hand as if it's holding something, the audience will believe it. The hardest part of magic isn't the trick, it's the urge to look magical. If you wave your hands like a wizard, people know you're hiding something. If you act casual, if you're just boringly moving a coin, the disappearance becomes impossible. A mirror and 2 hours of practice will get you the move. A weekend will get you the performance. 6. The Sailor's Toolkit, Essential Knots. Most people know one knot, the one they use for their shoes. If they need to tie a couch to a car roof, they just wrap it a lot and hope for the best. This is dangerous and unnecessary. There are 5 knots that rule the world. The bowline, the king of knots that never slips but is easy to untie. The clove hitch for poles. The figure 8, the climber's safety. The sheet bend, joining 2 ropes. And the trucker's hitch, a literal pulley system made of string. You can learn these while watching a movie. Grab a piece of paracord and follow a YouTube tutorial. By the end of the weekend, you'll have a utility skill that could quite literally save your life, or at least your furniture someday. 7. Edible Play-Doh, fresh pasta. In the culinary world, fresh pasta is treated like a sacred art. But let's look at the ingredients. Flour and eggs. That's it. The skill is just tactile. You make a volcano of flour, crack the eggs in the middle, and mix. The kneading takes 10 minutes of physical labor until the dough feels like a human earlobe. Seriously, feel your earlobe. That's the texture of perfect pasta dough. Even if your cuts are uneven and your shapes are ugly, fresh pasta will almost always taste better than the dried stuff in the blue box. It's a high-impact, low-effort skill that makes you look like a gourmet chef to anyone you invite over for dinner. 8. Safety and speed, knife skills. Cooking takes forever because most people are karate chopping their food with dull knives. Professional chefs aren't faster because they are superhuman. They are faster because they use the claw grip. It's finger insurance. Combine this with a sharp knife, and suddenly you aren't fighting the onion, you're gliding through it. Spend one Saturday dicing a bag of onions and a bag of carrots. By Sunday, your prep time will be cut in half permanently. 9. The musical cheat code, the ukulele. If you want to play the violin, you're going to sound like a dying cat for at least 2 years. If you pick up a ukulele, you can sound like a musician by lunchtime. The ukulele has 4 strings and a very simple layout. You only need to learn 4 chords: C, G, A minor, and F. These 4 chords are the skeleton of nearly every pop song from the last 50 years. From Somewhere Over the Rainbow to the latest radio hit, it's all the same 4 shapes. It is the ultimate musical cheat code. 10. Ancient memory, the memory palace. This is a technique used by ancient Greeks and modern memory champions to memorize entire decks of cards or thousands of digits of pi. Our brains aren't built to remember lists. They are built to remember places. To use this, you take a house you know well, you walk through it, and place bizarre, dramatic images in specific rooms. To remember milk on a grocery list, you don't think of a carton. You imagine a 7-foot cow in a tuxedo dancing in your entryway. The weirder the image, the more it sticks. You can master this mental framework in a single afternoon. It's not about having a better brain, it's about using the brain you already have in the way it was designed to work. Conclusion: the 80-20 rule. So why do we think these things are so hard? It's usually a mix of industry gatekeeping, where experts want to feel special, and the discomfort gap. Most people quit in the first 3 hours because being a beginner feels stupid. But if you apply the Pareto Principle, you realize that 20% of the techniques give you 80% of the results. You don't need a film degree to edit a video, and you don't need to be an Italian grandmother to make pasta. Next time you have a free weekend, don't just binge watch a show. Pick one of these. By Monday morning, you won't just be the person who watched TV. You'll be the person who can play the ukulele, tie a sailor's knot, or outsmart a casino. What are you going to learn this weekend?